Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. It is October the 3rd. This is Hurricane Hub Live, and I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandajis. Tonight on HHL, we're currently tracking two separate tropical waves in the Atlantic Basin. There's the potential that one of them becomes our next named storm, our 10th named storm, which would be Jerry, next week, within the next 7 days. And we're still looking at an active Eastern Pacific. There's now two areas of development there possibly, and we still have an ongoing tropical storm in the basin as well. And typically that doesn't bode well for activity in the Atlantic. It increases the wind shear in the Gulf and the Caribbean when we've got an active Eastern Pacific, and that looks to remain the case for at least the foreseeable future, like it has been for pretty much the entirety of the season so far. Out in the Atlantic Basin, not much to speak of. What's spinning up here in the North Atlantic is what's left of Imelda. Elsewhere, though, not much going on at all. We've got our two waves that we're tracking right now. One that's sitting off the coast of Florida in the Bahamas. This is just a tropical wave that's got a low chance of developing into a named storm, a 10% chance of that. It will, however, bring a large amount of rainfall to Florida over the next several days. A more robust tropical wave has just exited the coast of Africa, now in the far eastern part of the main development region of the Atlantic Basin, which typically this time of the year starts to shut down. But as it moves west into the western part of that development region towards the Leeward Islands, and this area shaded in orange here, it's got a 50-50 chance now. So a big increase from yesterday when we were only at 30% to 50% odds, a moderate chance within the next 7 days of getting the next name on deck, which, as I mentioned, is Jerry. Let's start with the area a little bit closer to home here, sitting over the Bahamas. Very disorganized area of low pressure, 10% chance of this developing, but it will bring a large amount of rainfall to especially the east coast of Florida. We're looking at some spots north of Cape Canaveral here near Daytona Beach, 4 to 7 inches of rain over the next 5 days, 2 to 4 inches possibly from Savannah all the way down to Miami. And then on the west coast of Florida, not a whole lot going on there. Elsewhere in the basin, we've got what will likely be tagged soon as an invest, probably in the next couple of days. 50-50 odds of development here over the next 7 days. You can see it's a very broad area of low pressure. You can certainly see some spin here, but this has just been offshore for the last 12 hours or so. So we'll see if it generally starts to get its act together and organize a bit as it passes south of the Cabo Verde Islands and then off to the west into the area of possible development. Long-range models here don't do a whole lot in the short term. We have to go all the way out to the middle of next week to start to see any sort of semblance on models of any development here. And the only one that points to anything is the American, the GFS, at this point in time by Wednesday, October the 8th. And then we jump out a little bit farther. GFS does strengthen it possibly into a hurricane. And the European is not too far behind with likely a disorganized tropical storm here. Both right now look to recurve out to sea, which has pretty much been the theme of this season so far. Development coming out of the main development region starts to track off to the west-northwest. And especially this time of the year, you got fronts coming on in. And that helps to kind of deflect anything away from the East Coast. But again, could see Bermuda being under the gun here. But this is very far out. This is 10 days out from now. So we'll watch it carefully. A lot can change. In the Eastern Pacific, two separate tropical waves here hugging the coastline of Mexico. One's got a high chance, 90% chance of developing. The one behind it, a moderate chance at 50-50 odds. And then we still have octave sitting out here in the northern ports of the Pacific. It's really moving into an area that's got very weak steering. So the track here is just kind of sitting in the same area, sitting and spinning, still maintaining the same intensity as yesterday at 60-mile-per-hour winds for a tropical storm. Now, our scorecard so far this season, you can see not much change here. We haven't had any additions to it over the last several days. We're at 9 tropical storms in the Atlantic Basin, 4 of which hurricanes, 3 were major, most recently Umberto. And then in the Eastern Pacific, we've got 15 named storms, 8 hurricanes, and 3 majors so far. We may be adding to that with 2 other areas of high to moderate interest of development here over the next couple of days. Short but sweet today, folks. Not a whole lot going on in the Atlantic Basin to speak of. We'll continue to monitor things, of course, as we go through the next several days. We are here every night at 8 p.m. for the latest on the tropics on Hurricane Hub Live. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock.